An anti-narcotics official and the provincial prosecutor preparing cases related to the recent drug bust in Batangas blamed the media for the conflicting data on the amount of shabu seized. Initial reports showed that the shabu confiscated from the operation in Alitagtag, Batangas last April 15 was estimated to weigh around 2 tons, priced at around 13 billion pesos. However, the Philippine National Police later clarified that the actual weight and value was at 1.4 tons and 9.68 billion pesos. In a briefing, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency Deputy Director for Operations, Assistant Secretary Renato Gumban and Batangas Provincial Prosecutor Lourdes Zapanta answers questions on whether police officers are mandated to release estimates when the operation or the case buildup is still ongoing.
Can I answer that? I think they are not obliged, but it is you who forced them to give an estimate. Tinanong ninyo di napilitan sila, no? Kung hindi nyo tinanong, hindi sila nagbigay. Di ba? It is you who asked.
Siguro,
it is not our obligation.
Meanwhile, Gumban says they were pressured by the questions from the media.
Yun nga yung nape-pressure na kami doon sa estimate. Hindi kami nagbibigay ng estimate unless pressed by the press. Kayo na tatanong doon, sinabi naman ni Jen sa akin, sir, kailangan natin ng estimates doon. Simple mathematics naman yung estimate. May ba doon sa sinabi kong formula kanina? May mga algebra ba yun? Wala, simple math lang yun. Yun na mag-estimate.
According to Zapanta, they cannot disclose information that would be vital to the investigation because it might jeopardize the case.
I'm not part of the witness, but I come because it is not our obligation to disclose. To disclose the vital information considering it is under investigation. Nagki-case build up po kami. So we cannot disclose vital information.
Meanwhile, members of the Philippine National Police Press Corps object to Zapanta's statements, saying that it is the role of the media to ask questions. Department of the Interior and Local Government Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. acknowledges this as well.
That is media's role. It should really be your role. Kasi you should always ask questions. Kailangan malaman ng ating publiko ang nangyayari. That's why on our end, we're trying to be transparent here. Kaya ang ginawa ko, sinama ko ng lahat dito. Ano yung nangyari, at anong ginagawa namin, at ano pa yung tutugisin namin, at ano pa ang gagawin namin.
The Interior Secretary emphasizes the media's presence during the entire drug bust incident.
At least the media is a witness to what happened. Yun po importante, hindi ba? Doon na kagad yung media nung dumating ang truck, yung dumating yung van, nung binaba ito, may mga tao na rin doon, no? Everything is transparent po rito. Siguro yung word na estimate, yung higit kumulang, no, yun naman ang inano po.
Senator Ronald Dela Rosa says China has no right to dictate to Filipinos, especially those who question the influx of Chinese students in Cagayan province. In a phone interview, Dela Rosa responds to China's comment that some Filipino politicians were hyping up the maritime conflicts between the two nations by linking the presence of Chinese students in Cagayan to the West Philippine Sea dispute. Dela Rosa says it is only normal for Filipinos to cast doubt on China considering its actions in the West Philippine Sea. Dela Rosa adds that China should instead fix its actions. Several resolutions have been filed in the House of Representatives to look into the surge of Chinese students in Cagayan. Dela Rosa, who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, defends his fellow lawmakers. Dela Rosa says China shouldn't dictate to Filipinos, including politicians. Dela Rosa further says that the Philippines wouldn't be suspicious if China has been good towards the country, especially in dealing with the issue on the disputed waters. Dela Rosa urges the government to promptly act on China's growing presence in the country, calling it as worrisome. Some senators have expressed their alarm over Chinese students in Cagayan reportedly paying 2 million pesos to obtain their degrees. However, the Commission on Higher Education previously said it has not received any complaints about a university in Cagayan with a significant number of Chinese students. First Lady Liza Marcos says she knows what line not to cross regarding her sister-in-law, Senator Imee Marcos. In an interview on Tune In kay Tunying, the First Lady alludes to possible tensions with Senator Imee Marcos. The First Lady is asked about Senator Marcos not defending President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. amid controversies. According to the First Lady, she is the outlaw in the Marcos family and knows what lines not to cross. She adds that the question should instead be addressed to Senator Marcos. According to the First Lady, the Marcos family has a weekly Sunday lunch together, which Senator Marcos has been unable to attend as of late. However, the First Lady says that Senator Marcos is always invited to the family lunch since the whole Marcos family has a group chat. Senator Marcos has openly criticized her brother, frequently playing the mediator between the Marcos and Duterte families. First Lady Liza Marcos dismisses rumors that she is planning to run for senator. The First Lady says she has heard insinuations that her medical outreach program, Lab for All project, is a front for a future senatorial run. When asked if she has any intentions to seek a seat in the Senate, the First Lady responds with a laugh, saying she even gets a mayor's name wrong. The First Lady adds that her husband, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., has quipped that she is the ambassador of bad will. The First Lady further says she never had any interest in running for a position in government, even telling longtime detractors to extend their brain just a little bit. In the same interview, the First Lady recounts that her family stayed in Ilocos Norte, specifically between Paway and Lawag, while her husband served as provincial governor. This made people believe she might run for a local elective position in either town. However, the First Lady reveals that she was never a registered voter until 2022, when her husband ran to become the country's president. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority says it would check the possibility of voiding issued tickets and the releasing of impounded e-vehicles under a ban imposed on April 15. In a press conference, MMDA Acting Chairman Romando Artes says this move is not a directive from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., but an initiative from the agency to make the Chief Executive's order retroactive. The citations were given and e-vehicles were impounded on April 17, or 2 days after a rule prohibiting e-trikes, e-bikes, as well as tricycles, pedicabs, pushcarts, and tractor-drawn carts known as kuliglig along major thoroughfares began. Since then, the MMDA has issued 290 tickets and impounded 69 e-bikes and e-trikes. However, on April 18, President Marcos ordered the MMDA to give a 1-month grace period before imposing the penalties of the ban.
Hahanapan po namin to ng paraan para makancel itong mga ticket na to at makikipagtulungan po kami sa mga LGUs kung paano mapapasauli yung 69 na impounded. Kailangan lang po namin aralin yung mechanics dahil nga po naka-issue na kami ng ticket dito at may proseso po yung pagre-release ng mga impounded vehicles.
Artes clarifies that the possible cancellation of tickets and release of e-vehicles will only apply to those apprehended by the MMDA and not by enforcers from local government units.